Hello, welcome back to St Michael's Hill. Today I'm going to be unboxing, reviewing and fitting a decoder to my new Hornby Class 153. If you saw my last video, this is one of the items that I got for Christmas. So I'm going to open it up, have a look at it, do a little bit of a review and like I said, show you how I'm going to fit the decoder I've got from Lens. And we'll see it running on the layout. So as is pretty standard, the packaging from Hornby is the outer sleeve, and then the unit itself is in this block of ice. Very kind of standard. Let's move that out of the way. There is a small accessories pack by the looks of things, but that's only got the tension lock couplings, which aren't fitted from the factory. Let's get out the block of ice and I'll show you what it's like. So here she is. As a lot of people say, this is one of Hornby's better models. There's a kind of real likeness to the prototype. There's a lot of detail that's been picked out very, very well. So I'm going to show you around here. The kind of first thing that stands out to me and always has on this model is the kind of the rivet detailing. I'm no rivet counter myself, and I'm sure that the rivet counters have got a perfect opportunity with this model to actually count them and prove them wrong, but it just shows kind of a great level of detailing. I know that the prototype, that kind of riveting is very pronounced. It's great to see it picked out properly here by Hornby. Obviously that's on both sides. The other thing that kind of I really like is the front end detailing. So I think they've done a great job of kind of picking out the general shape of the 153. The only thing for me obviously is the destination blinds probably aren't correct, or certainly aren't correct for St Michael's Hill, obviously being southwest based, Derby to Crewe prototype, which this is kind of a representation of, wouldn't be down that way, but hopefully that's a fairly easy change. I'm going to have a look into how that can be done. If I pick it up, it might be easy to see, but the obstacle remover or snowplow is connected to the bogie. Now this has certainly caused a few people some problems. I'm not really sure why Hornby decided to do it that way. It's a fairly quick fix to remove that and then fix it to the body, which is probably something that I'm going to be doing. I probably won't fit the tension lock couplings because I don't intend to run this in multiple. However, that might change if on the new layout that will get built, if there's room to run it alongside a 158 is the only thing I was thinking, but I'm not sure how prototypical that really would be. I know these days occasionally Great Western Railway run 158s, their 3-car units with a 153 to make a 4-car train. I'm not sure if it was something that was done in the regional railways days, but I'll have a look into it. As well as this, there is also the Class 150 from Bachmann that I've got that I could run it in multiple with. So I will have a look, but for now, certainly in the foreseeable future, it won't be run with any other multiples. The high level of detailing is continued on the ends of the unit, so you can see the overhead wire warning, the information about the train on the below the TOPS running number is picked out and is legible. Also, I don't know if you can see it here, but the bottom of the coupling has also got the warning triangle stuck on it as well, so just a very nice level of detailing. The livery has been applied very, very nicely. The stripes have been added very, very crisply. There's very little bleed at all. If I can get the camera focused. The cant rail stripe at the top as well is very, very fine, very nicely done. The finishing kind of continues here with kind of flush glazing that looks very realistic. The silver frames outside of the windows have been very finely applied too. I think the next thing to do is to open her up, get a decoder fitted, and get her up on the layout. So I'm just going to check the instruction manual on how to remove the body and to get the decoder in, and I'll be right back. So it seems as though the unit is there are no screws. It's just a case of prising the body away from the chassis. So I'm going to do that now. I'll probably do that off camera just because it can be quite delicate with these things, but once the body's off, I'll get back to you and show you where the decoder goes. So it's been about 5 minutes since I've left you last. The body is a very, very tight fit, so despite there only being a couple of clips, it's very difficult to remove, and part of that's probably because, you know, it's my new model and I was trying to be very, very gentle with it, but it has come off. It's all intact, which is good. The way they've kind of put the electronics in without blocking the windows is quite clever. So the circuitry goes kind of above the seating, and then the motor is down one end. So the decoder needs to be kind of fitted in here to replace the blanking chip, and I'll do that now, and give it a test and then get the body back on, as long as she runs okay. So that's what I'm going to do now. So there you go. As with all the DCC ready models, it really is a simple job fitting the decoder. The lens decoders also come with this nice little sticky back double-sided little piece of foam, so I always pop that on there, and then I can just peel back that layer and stick it probably inside of the roof or something like that, just to keep it out of the way, which is always useful. It probably won't be too much of a problem with this unit, but with a lot of the locos it's a very useful thing to have. I will at some point paint the seats and add some people inside of those. I always think it makes a real difference, so at some point I will do that. I will probably also add a driver as well. The cab at this end is probably the best bet. There is a cab in the other end, but it's sorry, there is a cab up at this end, but it's housed within this unit, so it's probably easier to fit one to this end and keep it simple. So I'm going to give this a quick test now, and we'll see if it runs as it's supposed to. So I've got the unit onto the layout now. As you can see, the lighting works. At the moment it's only on one end. I think the lights for the second end are in the cab unit, so there we go. So we've got front and back lights on that side. The lights on this side will probably pop on when I've got the body back on. I haven't run this in this literally straight out of the box, so it will need a good kind of 30-minute run in, but it's certainly running the way it should. Oh, it's a little bit jerky, but it will probably just need a good running in. So it's always best to check that a DCC chip is working properly before you put the body back on, especially like with this one, it took a while to get the body off. So it's always best to just make sure things are working how you want them to before you go through the trouble of putting the body back on. I've certainly added some body shells in my time to find that, you know, DCC chips weren't working, or lights weren't working, or things like that. So the more testing you can do without the body shell, the better. So I will get this back on, get the body shell back on, and I'll show you how she's looking. So I've got the decoder in. It was quite a job to fit the body back on, but we got there in the end. It's yeah, it's a very tight fit, but it's definitely a good thing, and I'm sure over time it kind of loosens up a little bit. It's probably easier. So yeah, you can see it's working quite nicely. The lights have all kind of gone on okay. Show you the burst lights. I quite like that there's a little gap between changing direction and the lights changing. So if I change direction now, as you can see, it just takes a couple of seconds, or probably half a second to come through, but it's quite a nice little touch. You can see when it's on this point that the obstacle deflector kind of moves with the bogey, which is why probably the main reason I'm not keen on having it attached to the bogey. Yeah, it's certainly kind of not, it doesn't look quite right, so that's something I will change fairly soon. Another thing that I did notice on the front ends is it's quite a nice touch. So on one end, as you can see in the middle of the gangway there's a couple of lines that kind of indicate doors. So originally the 153s were 2-car 155 units, so this end here would have been the middle, so these would have been doors that were a gangway between the 2 cars of the unit. So it's just nice that each end's been picked out differently. So that's pretty much it. So I'm very happy with it as a present. It's wonderful. The detailing is great. It looks really good on the layout, and like I said, for me, it's going to be perfect for St Michael's Hill just because it's a small station, and it's going to be able to be used quite nicely. So very happy with this, and I'm going to leave you with a few running shots. Until next week, I'll see you again soon on St Michael's Hill. Cheers.